back to another episode of Generation Aggie. I'm Julliet Hill, a fourth-year communication major, film studies minor, social media intern, and your host. And for today's episode, we're joined with some very special guests, Stream. These are our other social media interns. We're all part of what makes up Stream. And today we're going to be answering some questions, having a little bit of fun. But before we do that, we're going to do some intros. But you're not going to introduce yourselves. You're going to introduce the person next to you. Spice things up a little bit, okay? So this is Carlie Rae Whiteman. Carlie Rae is all fourth years. Communication major. I knew that. I was just stuttering. Fourth year communication major. And I'm going to pass the baton to you.
This is TikTok wizard Danielle. Danielle is a managerial economics major with a minor in communication, and just does such great work.
This is Emma. She is majoring in political science, and she's minoring in English, and she manages all executive communications, so like Gary May related things.
Yes, kinda. This is intern mommy, Alexa. Alexa is a communication major with a minor in professional writing.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for that introduction. This is Emmanuel. Emmanuel is our journalism king, and he is a communication major with, a communication and a sociology major, double major, with a minor in professional writing. And he's such a journalism king that he's going to Columbia. I wanted to say Cornell, but Columbia.
Thank you so much. This is Miss Farrah, aka Book Talk Queen, aka my stream bestie, and just the most amazing person I've ever met.
Oh my gosh, wow, Manuel. Thank you. Getting emotional already. Okay, well, I will kick off the first question, which is, why the name Stream? What does it even mean, and what do you do when you're on the team?
We came up with the name Stream because it was originally called the Street Team. So we mashed that together. So we're like, Stream. And then we were like, well, that's sort of cool, like agriculture, nature, stream, water. And then our hashtag always current because, again, the water theme. And then we're supposed to be like on top of like the latest trends, always current. Yeah. What was the other part of the question? Oh, a lot of stuff. I feel like everyone has like different roles. Right now, I manage the undergraduate admissions social media calendar. So all the posts that go out, I help like coordinate that. And Generation Aggie and Real Places of UCD, check out our video series. Yeah. But everyone has very unique roles and projects that they work on, you know?
Describe your time on Stream in one word. I can start off.
Yeah.
I would say memorable. I feel like, do I need to explain my word?
One word.
Just memorable. Next.
I'm gonna say like put a hyphen in between, but like life-changing.
Whoa. Come back to me.
That was more than one word. Exciting.
I want to say growth.
Life-changing times 2.
I will say rewarding.
Rewarding.
Why did you join Stream, and is it what you expected? I guess I'll start. I joined Stream because I was working with athletics, UC Davis Athletics social media, and I was volunteering for them, and I wanted to kind of branch out a little more. And I saw the job posting for Stream. It got a little messed up, over the summer. Then I got interviewed for an intern position, just because of COVID and everything. Got interviewed for an intern position, got the position. I've been here for 3 years. So I just joined it to learn more about social media, and I've learned so much in this position. Like, I can't even describe how much I've learned. So
I can add to that. I think, when I applied, it was like 2 different job listings. It was like social media intern and then also Stream. And I had no idea what this stream thing was. And I was like, why are they calling it stream? Like, is this like some work term that I don't know? Like, what is this? And I didn't know like what Stratcom was, or like strategic communications. And I just remember like looking it up, being like frantically like, I don't understand, what is this team? What do they do? But then I got the social media intern position and I had no idea what I was supposed to be expecting. In my mind, it was like, oh, students run the Instagrams and stuff, and that's it. And I had no idea it was like this huge world of social media and communications.
I just had a funny story to add, or just like kind of like about my first week. Is like, I guess in the second part of the question, like, was it what I expected? Like, definitely not. Like, within my first week, I was like helping out with like a scavenger hunt we had. So we were on golf carts and like going around this, like the school, and so that was like very unexpected. And it's just like the job has so many like different opportunities and like totally random like events happening that it's always a different week, which is exciting.
Okay, let's see. What is the biggest lesson you've learned from working on stream? That's a good one.
I would say time management, project management, all of it. Like, just there's so many projects that we do on UC Davis Social that like working with so many other people.
Adding on to that, I feel like my biggest lesson was life balancing and like how to be a functional human and also have a job, or sometimes 3 jobs depending on the season of my life. It's fine. But like, I think I learned a lot about just like how to ask for what I need and like set boundaries and choose the avenues that like suited me best and like my interests.
Yeah, I want to say the biggest lesson I've learned is like asking for opportunities, because there's so many moving parts to this job and there's so many different things that you can learn. Like, we have project management and like video editing and like content building and graphic design, and also like a lot of writing things, and that's just like the beginning of it. And I think you can kind of learn to like find your niche and like where you want to go. And a lot of the people here, like if you just ask for opportunities, they're very willing to give you them.
Wait, I want to add, shout out to video editors out there. That's like one of the lessons I learned. Ever since I'm joining stream, I hopped on Premiere. Not right away, but it took me a while because I was scared. And let me say I was scared for a very good reason. That is a nightmare, but I very much appreciate everyone who has a job video editing and the content you produce, because it is hard. Let me tell you, it is hard. Not an easy job. And if you think it's easy, you try to do it.
Thanks, Alicia.
Okay, so we can move on to the next question, which is, which stream project did you enjoy the most? Okay, I guess I'll start. I guess this is like an ongoing project, but I guess running the whole TikTok account, because I like started it back in March 2021, and then since then I've been like running it the whole time, like with some help too, of course. And it's just like a project that's always changing and always growing, so it's fun to see that happen.
I would say my favorite project was all the projects I get to work with agriculture. It's just like my passion in life, and so like getting to highlight the different animal barns on campus, or like connect with the community and just like go back to ag has been really nice for me.
My favorite project has definitely been all the HSI stuff that I've done. Like, I remember when our very wonderful supervisor, Teddy, first brought up HSI to me, and I didn't know what it was at all. But with the help of her support, like, I learned a little bit more about it, and I kind of got engaged into trying to make content that spread like word about HSI. And I feel like I've done a lot to try to, the whole reason I joined Stream, I feel like, was to give representation to my community out like on a bigger platform. Like, everything that I've done for like HSI in general has just made me like proud to be where I'm from, and proud to like have that representation that I've given to UC Davis.
Period.
One of my favorite projects was for like Mental Health Awareness Month, or anything mental health related. I think as a student, to be able to like have the ability to like make content to like help students directly, and like you kind of know exactly what they're looking for. And a lot of the students, they don't know that these resources are available. So like being able to like advertise that and sharing it, I think is really rewarding.
Yes. What was the funniest memory of working on stream?
I don't know if I have like one exact memory, so maybe that's like not super specific to the question, but like more so I feel like every time I come into the office, it's so funny. Like we have like the most amazing conversations, or there's always something happening. Like there'll be dogs in the office, or there'll be someone who like has a really cool project and we're talking about it. And there's just like all these like little elements that make like every day just like so memorable and so fun. So like I don't know if there's like one stand-up moment, but there have been so many days where I've gone home and I'm like, wow, I'm really happy because like I just had the best day at work. Like it was just so genuine, and so that's like just what comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. I thought of a funny one where I don't know who was there, but when we did the 100K like cake cutting, that video seems like so like, oh, cute, but the behind the scenes I feel like was so chaotic. Like I was like cutting it and then I was like throwing cake. I was like, I need another plate. I need another plate. Like, yeah, like, yeah.
The prep for that was insane. We had like 10 different sheets of paper and we were cutting out a 100K to like pour the sprinkles on top of, but like it wasn't the right size. So we had like 7 different takes, and then we were like all crowding around like the tiny little office kitchen, like pour more sprinkles, no.
Just another day at the office, you know?
Another day, yeah.
I would say for me the funniest is like the random TikTok videos, and not the ones we plan. Those just never are as funny. But the ones where we're like, I saw this, let's do it, and we go for it in like 5 minutes. So like we did a recent one of like when admissions got released and we were just running around the office, and that was so funny. Like I feel like I was on the floor laughing for most of that anyways, and so it's like the little moments, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, just to add on to that, filming TikToks can be really funny if like out of context. Like there was one that we did, and Emmanuel like did a handstand on the wall, and that was funny. Like if you just walked in, you're like, oh, okay, they're getting paid for this. So.
What's a piece of advice for someone looking to join Stream?
Just do it. Not sponsored by Nike.
You don't have to like social media to be part of the team.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think the most we've learned on this team is when we've asked for help. And like, yeah.
I was going to say like this team, it is like we are social media interns, but it's so much more than just like scrolling on Facebook all day. There's just so many different facets and like so many different skills you can learn. Also like learning a lot about like communication and like strategic planning as well. I got the big question.
I was like, yay.
Now we're entering the part of the segment called Who is most likely to? Who is most likely to become famous?
Well, I was going to say
Okay,
I'll take that. I'll take it.
End up doing social media for UC Davis. No way.
Or Alexa, I was going to say.
I just feel like I hear Carlie Rae ask about their job.
Literally.
Carlie Rae wants a job at UC Davis.
Carlie Rae looking for a job. Whoever's hiring.
And all of us.
Yeah, I'm just going to point to everybody. Can't wink, but okay. Become a CEO.
Danielle or Alexa?
Certainly Danielle, CEO of TikTok.
Yeah.
Never actually work in social media again.
Carlie Rae.
Somehow got do social media for UC Davis and never work in social media. Invent the next big social media platform.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Danielle's very creative. Like, I feel like you could do like a B-reel type, like TikTok type something.
Okay. Win a Pulitzer Prize.
Little writer.
Put that in.
Yeah. Become the biggest Aggie alum with the most school spirit.
Really?
Really?
When I see like school spirit, I see spirit and I see Carlie Rae.
Yeah, you are both first generation and legacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one has more school spirit.
Super cool.
End up living in a small rural town and living off the land. I'm voting for myself.
Yeah.
That is part of the plan.
Yeah.
Move to another state or country.
Alexa, I feel like Farrah would move somewhere. Or well, Emmanuel's already doing it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Emmanuel's on his way.
Become the chancellor of UC Davis someday. I'm already happy there.
Emma.
Fair too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farrah.
Chancellor Farrah.
Yeah.
What class or professor changed or confirmed your journey at UC Davis?
Professor Joel Landis in the political science department is the best professor that I've ever had. He is literally the most amazing person, has a way of speaking to students and breaking down the most complex topics. You'll really be thinking about life like when you are in his class. It's a very like philosophical class, but in a really cool manner. Like if anyone has the opportunity to take his class, 1,000,000% do it. He is the best.
Okay, so my favorite professor was Dr. Fernandez, who taught me Portuguese, and like she's amazing. I have no words. Like I think she taught me so much more than just like the actual language, and so I think that really changed like trajectory of like enjoying school for once. But I think the professor that changed like my future trajectory would be like Dr. Teixeira teaches Ag Ed. And if you couldn't guess by my previous answers, I like agriculture a lot. And so just like getting to learn more about like agricultural communications and like that whole world has been really fun.
I want to say shout out Dr. Jeanette Ruiz. If you want to learn more about her, go watch our episode, Generation Aggie, plug, link below.
What's your favorite memory of the Chancellor? Mine is when he was in the dunk tank. That was so funny. You have to answer that.
I'll try to make this quick. So sometimes I do like comedy things like stand-up or like improv, whatever. So Chancellor May somehow caught word of this. And at one of our like live recording sessions for Thursday Thoughts at his house with like all of his guests and all of the like socialites of Davis, California, he like spots me like across the crowd and is like, Emma, you do stand-up comedy? And I was like, wrong. You're mistaken. You must be mistaken. And then he goes, tell me a joke. And then I was like, oh no, like, you don't want to hear a joke. And he's like, no, tell me a joke. And then somehow I like skirted around it and I was like, no, please no, stop. And then I was like, okay, maybe he forgot. He comes into the office the next day and I'm like sitting there doing work, like he doesn't remember me. And he was like, still waiting on that joke. I was like, I'm never living this down. This is never happening. Finally, I told him a joke one day after like many, many times of dodging. The joke was, what do you call a cow jumping over a barbed wire fence? Utter disaster.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, he likes it.
I feel like everyone else had profound memories, but mine is every time I see him getting stuff out of the vending machine, because it makes him feel like a real human. And like, it's so relatable. Like, I don't get things out of the vending machine because I don't have enough money for that, but he just feels like a normal human. Like, he doesn't have his own special vending machine upstairs. He like comes and like just will like always talk to us, and it's great.
So Julliet, Emmanuel, and I were at the holiday filming at the Chancellor's house. And like midway through, I like found out that I was gonna be sitting next to the Chancellor, which I started fangirling and really freaking out about. Like I was like, I don't even know what to talk to him about. This is like really intimidating. And then we go and sit outside, and it was so cold that like my teeth were like violently chattering, and Julia was sitting next to me. I think she could hear it. Yeah. But I think he noticed. No, and I'm pretty sure he noticed too, because he would like, you know, kind of turn over. Maybe he was concerned, or I don't know, didn't know what was going on, but I couldn't stop my teeth from chattering, and it was just a very embarrassing moment, but he was very kind about it. And then he gave us a house tour, which was very sweet.
Yes.
So somehow throughout the 3 years here, I've only seen him like 3 times. And right before this filming, I said hi to him for the first time. That's my exciting moment. Okay, next question. What will you not miss about UC Davis?
The homework.
Hi.
Oh my.
Oh.
So sorry, but we have really urgent projects we need to do and work on.
It's the homework.
I think that's our cue to leave.
Okay, you're kicking us old seniors out?
Always current.
Always current.
And
with
that
UC
is the
Davis
class
stream.
of 2023 signing off.